Okay, here we are back with another episode of the Slack Doctors. I am Dr. Chip.
I'm Dr. Bob.
And no guest today. Interestingly enough, our last guest, holy crap, as soon as we get on, somebody's trying to call me. Nope, I can't do that now, sorry. But our last guest missed our show because he fell asleep. I'll let him explain. I promised him another shot to get on the show, so he may be on in a week or so. But I'll let him if he wants to fess up to being the guy that fell asleep and missed his guest spot. But yeah, we had a sleep through, an overslept, and that was a 4 o'clock taping. Which typical life of obviously a musician, clearly.
Well, I figured if he was a local friend of yours, more than likely.
Who else is sleeping at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Yeah, anyway. So
you'll never get him for one of these 10 a.m.s though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now that you scheduled a few of those, I was like, man, it's gonna be hard to get any guests for that. Even like, yeah. And either somebody's gonna have a day job or they're not gonna be getting up that early.
Or you need some more UK friends or people that are, in very different time zones.
Would help. Yeah. Maybe some people from Europe or the UK. Yeah, right. Did you have any new news nuggets for the day?
Not any like modern news nuggets, just like weird stuff that ancient historical news nuggets, I guess you would say. Have you ever heard of a bird called a barnacle geese?
A
barnacle goose?
No.
It's just a species of goose, whatever. So apparently, in the medieval period, you know how Catholics didn't allow you, or still don't allow you to eat meat on Friday. You're not supposed to eat meat on Fridays and during Lent. Apparently, people were using the barnacle goose as a loophole because it was supposedly common knowledge at the time that they weren't really geese, they weren't really birds because they came out of the water like fish, and that's why they called them barnacle geese, because there was a certain type of barnacle apparently that was found on driftwood which looked just like the head of this goose, right? This is back in like the 1700s. So even the most learned scientists, if you could call them scientists at the time, didn't really know about migration. They didn't understand that birds would fly very, very far away. So since nobody had ever seen one of these birds lay an egg or have any young, and they just appeared at a certain time of the year, and these barnacles happened to look just like the heads of them, they just assumed, much like something out of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, some ridiculous chain of, Ruberg logic. But yeah, they thought that they were fish, and so you could eat them. And I found that was pretty interesting. And I also thought it was interesting that's how they got the name barnacle goose.
So wait a minute, like if you're not supposed to eat meat, but you can still eat fish, isn't fish meat?
No, they did not consider fish meat.
Interesting.
No, not at all.
Loophole.
And they still, the Catholic Church still doesn't consider it that. You can still eat fish on Friday. The reason McDonald's even came out with the filet of fish sandwich was an attempt to get Catholics to come in on Friday and still order something.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. And then I was going down that same rabbit hole of like weird medieval stuff, weird factoids and stuff. Have you ever seen weird paintings of livestock from the past where the animals just look ridiculous? Cows are giant rectangular things. The sheep are just, your first thought would be, has the artist never seen a cow? Has the artist never seen a sheep? The pigs looked ridiculous. And the reason they look that way, you want to make a guess, but I think you're probably onto it already.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Bugs, you think?
The reason they did it that way is because it was basically propaganda / marketing. This is when selective breeding was going wild. And so if you wanted a painting of your cattle, you wanted to grossly overemphasize the size of the chest for the brisket and the size of the udders to make it look like this thing would just produce milk all day long. And the people that saw it at the time didn't think that they were looking at a realistic painting. But it's kind of like the analogy would be the way a picture of a Big Mac looks in an ad versus the way it is when you get it. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure I'm picturing the exact pictures you're talking about. That seems very specific.
It is, and I wish I could. We need more. We need more technology somehow because yeah, if I could show some of the clips, and it's
Period.
public domain art too, so I should be able to.
And it's a specific period that you're talking about, I assume, right?
Yeah, like yeah,
Yeah.
1300s, 14. I mean, it went on for quite a long time, but it was yes, it was a trend in art,
Have we
and so
talked?
it was.
Have we
Go ahead.
talked about the missing the theory that we're missing like 300 years of history?
You brought it up once briefly, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's about all I know about it. And supposedly it was because of a pope. The pope wanted to change the calendar, so they just said, "All right, we're just going to start here and call it year 1000," when it was only like 689 or something like that. Interesting theory. Anyway, any other news nuggets?
No, just news nuggets from antiquity.
Well, I got a couple of news nuggets. You heard about the gambling thing, right? Cash Patel busting gambling rings, and they've been rigging NBA games for years. You didn't see anything about this?
No, I didn't, but
Oh,
it's funny that it told her not to call me. Um, it's funny that they would do that now with this sudden massive influx of FanDuel and online sport betting and stuff, and the way that it gets pushed and the openness of it. But no, I have not heard. What is he going after? Private gambling or?
no, it's some dude. First of all, who cares? Who gives a shit? I mean, it's gambling. It should be legal. If you want to go, if you want to risk your money and lose it, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a vice. It comes with its own penalties. It doesn't need
All right.
a
So
legal penalty.
games they say it may have been rigged or whatever. I've always said the officiating in those games is so subjectional. They're all fucking rigged. I mean, it's like, it's kind of hard to say it isn't, but whatever. But I mean, the posts, I keep seeing all these posts on Facebook about what a this, that, and then I'm like, okay, so Cash Patel, gambling bad, protecting child rape and people that assassinate Charlie Kirk good. Like where are our priorities as a society that people are getting so upset about that, and it's like, yeah, Epstein files, Epstein files, Epstein files, Epstein. Anyway,
Yeah, it does seem an odd thing to go after.
well, and similarly,
When there's so much gambling in every aspect of society, not just the fact that the stock market is actually just gambling. Insurance is gambling. Life insurance is gambling on whether you're going to live or not. Everything is gambling.
all risk and reward. It's all commodities that go up and down in a market. Absolutely. But similarly, I mean, have you seen people all up in arms about Trump apparently tearing down a wing of the White House and
Yeah, to put in a ballroom.
room or something like that?
Yeah,
I mean, apparently everybody does it. Apparently Obama ripped down part of it, put something else. Everybody, I guess Truman completely gutted the thing back in his days or whatever. So it's
yeah,
like,
it's been done before, of
yeah,
course.
but I say the same thing about burning the flag. Who cares? It's all, when you care about the Constitution and the rule of law, hit me up. Otherwise, I don't care if he burns the whole damn building to the ground. It doesn't mean anything. It's just stupid. It's a stupid building. It's
I
complete.
mean, not only has the building itself been modified many times throughout history, the Capitol wasn't even always in the same place.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous. And everybody's like, oh, what look what he's doing to blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Who cares? Anyway, there's something else that I wanted to talk about too, but it'll come to me eventually.
I know what it is you wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Don't you have a ghost story to tell?
dude, but first, what got you all pissed off? I never heard your rant.
Oh, my rant. All right. So the rant, you commented on the headphones, right? So I
Right.
bought, these aren't the headphones that I ordered. I ordered headphones off of Amazon, did all kinds of diligence. So in this microphone that I have here, this I really like this Rode microphone. It's a 3.5 millimeter input jack for the headphones, right? So I specifically didn't want wireless, wanted the right size jack. Clicked all the filters and everything on Amazon and went through and cost compared and read the reviews and did all of my due diligence and whatnot. Got the ones that I wanted. The product description was, perfect. Wait a couple of days, it shows up wrong size head jack. All right. Even the description, so I was pissed off. I go to return it. When I go to return it, Amazon starts giving me a hard time about trying to return it, wanting to offer me all these other options. And this is just, I'm just building, getting angrier and angrier as I go along. One of the options, which pissed me off the most, first they wanted to know if I'd like to speak to them, contact the manufacturer or conflict resolution or something like that. Like I wrote in the description of why I was returning it because it's the wrong size jack. It's useless to me. There's no way to, we're not, I don't want this. Then they wanted to offer me a partial refund and just let me keep the product. I think it was like $12 or something they wanted to offer me back. All that tells me is that you could have sold it to me for $12 less in the first place. You don't give a shit about getting it back.
That
So that irritated the hell out of me. So I went and returned it, took it straight to the UPS store. I think I've never had a delivery that was in my home for less time than this thing was. It was like 8 minutes from the time I opened the box, got pissed, applied for my refund on Amazon, and took it straight to UPS store to return it. So then
you could have gone to Best Buy and bought a little adapter like that, and it would have worked fine.
I didn't want an adapter. I was already in a bad mood that day, and I was pissed off that the product description was wrong and that it was the wrong size jack, right? So I went straight to Best Buy to just buy one at a brick and mortar store. I'm like, this would just solve the problem. So when I get to Best Buy, of course, there's virtually no one there to help you. There's one guy in the front, and I asked him if he could tell me where help me find some headphones. He points me to where they are. I go over. Now, 99% of everything they had there was wireless, which I didn't want that. And a lot of them were ridiculously expensive too. The ones I could find that were wired, I couldn't find the description on the box. I'm an old man. I needed some help. You know what I mean? I was getting more and more pissed by the minute. The ones that were wired, of course, the wire goes down into a cabinet, so you can't look at the wire yourself physically. So eventually, I finally get somebody over there to help me who can boldly states that any wired headphone sold at Best Buy is only a 3.5 millimeter. That's all we carry. I find that very hard to believe, but okay, because some of them clearly say USB, whatever. I'm kind of losing my train of thought. I was much angrier yesterday when it was fresh. So then I said, well, he finally finds one that he thinks is going to be the right one. I'm like, great, let me just open it and check the adapter at the connector at the end. Oh, you can't open it until you pay for it. I said, so I have to walk over there and pay for it and then open it at the counter. And if it's wrong, then just immediately refund it and then come back over here and try a new box and try a different one and see if that works. And he's like, yes, sir, I'm sorry, that's policy. So that's what I did. Went over there, held up the line, opened it right in the spot, and it was the right one. And yeah, it was on the way home from there in my old man rage that I did think I probably could have gotten an adapter for the first one.
So you got a pair of headphones that only has that little, and you said it's 3.5 millimeter, but I think isn't it 16th inch?
It's not listed as in imperial measurements. It's listed in millimeters, but the 3.5 millimeter jack.
Well, the bigger one is called an 1/8 inch.
Yes.
Right. So half of that, the little one, is a 16th inch.
No, that's the bigger one was listed as 6.9 millimeter.
Yeah, maybe that must be. But anyway, so you got a pair of headphones that only has that little jack.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't think they would make that.
Well, the reason I had to is because this microphone that I have, the only input on it for headphones is that size.
You can just get the little adapter. You don't.
Yeah,
Better headphones.
I didn't think of it.
What's that?
I didn't think of it.
Well, yeah, obviously not. But yeah, you got very angry for very little reason. Yeah. Yeah. All right. My reason was much better. Yeah, I'm very pissed at whoever the fuck stole my cord 2 days ago. 2 days ago, yeah, Wednesday.
It's still cord related though.
Yeah, true. But anyway, Tuesday night I went down, practiced with the STP thing, and I traded this guy a 2-space rack for a 4-space. Put 2 things that I had in the 2-space in the 4-space right there. Brought it home. Next day, wake up, go to put the other 2 things in. One of the cords that connects my preamp to the power amp is a 1/4 inch to XLR, male XLR, that goes into the back of the power amp. I take that off. I put it on my coffee table. Proceed to switch everything out. That cord no longer exists on this planet. I don't know where it went. I literally, I turned my house upside down looking for that thing. It's gone. It's just fucking gone. I've experienced this once before in that house. I think I told this story on another episode about a ghost story where I had a little, little fold of money that went missing for about 45 minutes or an hour, but at least it reappeared at exactly where I thought I'd put it. And, after looking for it for an hour, this cord is gone. It is nowhere. Unless I
Is
go and I actually have a gig tomorrow where I got to take a bunch of cords. If I go through the cords and somehow find it, it'll be like, wait a minute, hold on. Because I've looked through it. I literally went through every cord I have one at a time, going, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's
you
not
think one of the cats maybe started playing with it and dragging it under the couch or something? Or
dude. The only one cat that was around as soon as I start messing with any of my gear, hauls ass.
yeah, it was a long shot, but
Yeah, no, I don't think there was any cats around. Dude, this thing just literally vanished into thin air. I have no idea where it could have gone. It's insane. I'm just like, there must be a ghost or something. There's no rational explanation for where it went. It's just gone. It's inexplicable. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's the thing when, I think, didn't I tell I already told this, the ghost hunter story about the other house, right?
yes,
Yeah, and that's where, people always, when I tell that story, well, were you scared? I'm like, that time I wasn't scared. I was just more curious. This time I'm freaking pissed.
right. I'm not scared. I'm mad.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, back.
maybe it's following you from house to house.
It could be.
And it's not attached to a location; it's attached to you.
Well, I thought it was following, my ex, who was, the tarot card lady. I figured she was the one that was, had all the ghosts following her. Maybe she shed one on me or something. I don't
Right.
know.
Or she sicked it on you.
It could be that place though, too, because that place has been there. That's like that place is built in like the 50s or 60s or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it always three, or was it ever one just a house?
No. I think it's always been. It looks like it's always been a
Yeah.
triplex. But that they had triplexes back in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, fair enough. The just the landscaping alone would lead you to believe it's been there a very long time, because it seems like you couldn't do that in a short period of time.
Oh, actually, that's not true at all. All that landscaping is fairly recent, and they
I,
changed
I
all the.
mean, I'm talking about the trees, the big trees in specific, like the mango tree.
That's true. Yeah, and that big sea grape tree. Yeah, yeah, that's true. There are some big trees that have obviously been there a long time. But yeah, the other stuff they keep. Apparently, according to my front neighbor, he had the place all set up where it was all zero scaped, where you didn't really have to do nothing to it. And now they're out there like spraying water around 24/7 a day on, plants and this and that and flowers. And now they got all kinds of stuff that needs all kinds of water, which thank God I don't pay for it. But
I remember when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time at my grandma's house, and there was one lady on the street that had completely fenced in yard, and the whole yard was nothing but gravel and little pebbles and rocks and a
right.
couple of cactus. But yeah, it was just, and
That's it.
it was so no zero. I mean, Xeriscape is using indigenous, things that just grow there naturally. She specifically took out everything green and just put down rocks. Uh, I
Yeah.
can't imagine how hot it must have been, but
Well, if
it
you put
wasn't.
those there like cactus and stuff, that's zero scape. If you just leave it just gravel, then you're just kind of paving it over, but
Yeah, it was like 99% just, and not gravel's the wrong word, because the stuff, they were smooth. Pebbles is what they were. They were like rounded, like river pebbles or something.
grade of rock really is the only difference. That's all.
Yeah. I always found it odd too, because she had two chihuahuas. And so clearly it just seemed, you can't let your dogs go shit in the gravel, but yeah, I never saw her backyard. Maybe she had grass back there for them.
Well, I was probably shit in the house and they just cleaned it up. They're like, that's what my neighbors do with their little dog. I don't think unless he's staying with me, I don't think he goes outside. They got him to train to go on one of them little pads which is of course why I peed on every square rug I have in my house. But
Exactly.
he goes on
Yeah.
one of those little doggy pads, and he pees and he poops on that, and I don't think the dog ever goes outside to pee or poop anywhere.
That's crazy. I've seen people go to some weird lengths to provide for their, like I've seen kiddie pools, those little plastic round kiddie pools that you can put for like a little, toddlers, full
Uh,
of dirt and grass and sod and inside somebody's garage.
oh,
So you can
really?
take the in the winter time. So you can just take the dog out there, sort of trick it into thinking it's on grass, even though it's in the middle of the closed garage, but still feels the same on their paws. Better than
Yeah.
letting them do it in the house.
Yeah, and the other thing, I guess the government's still shut down. Even though, and I just went 2 days ago also to get my. I'm going to start collecting Social Security in December, dude. Checks start coming in December, and I even asked the lady doing it. I'm like, I thought the government was shut down. She goes, "Oh yes, we're not getting paid." And I'm like, "What are you doing here?" She goes, "Oh well, we'll eventually get paid. Well, they promised us." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm glad you trust them. I wouldn't trust them if I were you, but okay." I hope I get my checks in December. Maybe, who knows? It's so crazy. And I mean, I don't notice anything different about the government being shut down. Do you?
I have not noticed any difference at all. Is the
No.
military getting paid?
Well, there's supposedly some anonymous donor gave the government like a couple $100 million to pay the military, which is kind of interesting. So just the oligarchs are just now funding the government or whatever.
All right. And of course, Congress is still getting paid.
Oh, of course, I'm sure they are. Well, I mean, look, it's not like, it's not like they're minuscule little paychecks or what they live off. They're
Fair enough.
made in the insider trading and backroom deals and APAC giving them money. Did you see? Oh, that's the funniest thing.
Bernie on Tim Dillon.
Yeah, I did see that. That was a good podcast. But the thing I was going to say was, did you see? What's his name? California Newsom on some podcast where the guy kept asking him. He goes, "I wouldn't vote for anybody that takes APAC money," and Newsom's just there going. He literally said this like 8 or 9 times. He goes, "Interesting." Yeah, that's very interesting. It's interesting that you would bring that. That's very interesting. Interesting. It's like he just never ever heard that, taking bribes is probably not a good idea. You probably shouldn't do that. Interesting. Oh, interesting. I shouldn't take bribes from a foreign country to make us go do their wars. Interesting. Very interesting. You think that's interesting? Jesus Christ, dude. And then I think they busted Hakeem Jeffries doing something similar on some show. They're like busted him, like, dude, aren't you taking all the money? I'm not that familiar with the quote from that one. But that should bring us to the clip that I wanted them to run today that we should talk about. Kim Iverson has a podcast, and on her podcast, she was saying that Trump has guaranteed that Israel won't take over the West Bank, even though just the other day, right in front of J.D. Vance, their parliament took a vote and said, "Yeah, we're going to take the West Bank." So they got J.D. Vance coming right out of this meeting, and a reporter basically stops him and says, "Hey, yeah, I heard they just voted to take the West Bank. What do you think of that?" And he does this, "Yeah, isn't that weird?" I'm like, what? 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 And then he goes on to
Starting to sound more and more like Theo Vaughn. I think he's been on there too many times.
like, "Yeah, isn't that weird how they'd say that?" I think that's just purely symbolic. They say it's a symbolic vote. I can guarantee you they won't take over the West Bank. It's just kind of weird that they would say that. It's just like, dude, come on, man. Jesus Christ, the people that we got even representing us, and isn't that weird? Unbelievable. And then there was another thing that was almost as hilarious, but this is escaping me right now. I don't know. What else? Look on my feed. See what else I've been talking about lately.
I was scrolling through here in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get a new laptop. You gotta make it to the end of the year, then I can spend all the money that we need to on all the stupid crap we need.
Well, you posted something about New York Attorney General Letitia James pleading not guilty to federal mortgage fraud charges.
Uh, yeah, well, there must have been something more to it than that.
Well, I didn't go to the full article, and you didn't leave any comments about it. So,
You know, yeah,
uh,
thing. It's ridiculous.
yeah, apparently stems from a purchase of something she bought in 2020, a home in Norfolk, Virginia, and prosecutors allege that she misled a bank about the nature of the residence in order to obtain better loan conditions. That's
Well,
pretty.
everybody does it. Everybody's
Yeah.
admitted
Not
that.
only does everybody do it, but that's 5 years ago. So
Yeah,
we have to wait till now to do anything about it.
talk about I guess DeSantis is actually going to put on the ballot next year getting rid of property taxes, and basically the way they're talking about it is only like homesteaded, house you own that you live in. If it's a rental property, if it's an Airbnb or something like that,
Right,
that
right.
property taxes. But if you buy a house, you live there, no property taxes.
Right. So
Love
in
it.
other words, all of the requirements that would have previously been needed to get the homestead exemption, only they're just going to make the homestead exemption 100%.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like it. Yeah, I love it. It's perfect.
That's reasonable because that's going to help the people that it needs to help the most, people with,
Yeah,
one home that live there.
right. And if you got a rental property and you're making money off of it, yeah, you got to pay property taxes. That's not unreasonable.
Yeah. Not at all.
Anyway, and of course, somebody will be opposed to
Is
that.
there anything also in that package to increase revenue through any other means? Like, are they planning on increasing sales tax?
Yeah, I don't think they need to increase. We've got like billions in some kind of reserve. We don't need to increase revenue. That's why I'm surprised it's as high as it is. Because I mean, DeSantis keeps bragging about the fact that they paid down the debt and we have all this money left over. So just pay for it all and stop property tax altogether, which is basically what he's going to do, I think, but not altogether. I think, the Airbnbs and the rentals and the corporations should all still,
Right.
yeah,
Well, yeah, because that's in a sense, then it's not as much a property tax as it is a tax on a venture, a business, because if somebody's making a profit off of that property, well, then they're really paying a tax on the profit. They're not really paying a tax on the property.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I got no problem with that. And there was something related to that I was just thinking about. Nah, I just had something else I was going to bring up and now I lost my train of thought.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just tried somebody sent you a message. So,
No, whatever. It's probably
yeah.
Jay. Like an audio message.
Like some weird, like, so it's on the right side I'm on your Facebook page, said someone messaged you. I clicked on that and then it immediately tells me your account's being suspended, and it's some weird scammy spammy
Oh, yeah, whatever.
bullshit. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I got an email the other day about changing my password, and I just kind of deleted it. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm sure it's because it's logged in at two different places at the same time. They're probably freaking out.
That's what I thought was going to happen too. But then I thought, well, you're still logged in at home, but it's not like you're using it right now.
Yeah,
But no, I think it was something unrelated, just a scam.
yeah. There's something else government related I was going to talk about. Now I can't remember what the hell it was. Well, I rode my motorcycle today for the first time.
Weather must have been nice. Was cool enough, I'm guessing.
Yeah, yes. It's well, I mean, as long as you're going and just not sitting in the sun, starts to get a little warm. But the other thing is I left, I've been looking out of my apartment all day, left the house. It's like, oh, it looks great out. Sure enough, somewhere between like Delray and Boca, I didn't get rained on, but it had just rained. The streets were soaking wet. It's like Well, I guess it's been raining here. And then sure enough, right after, after like Spanish River dried up, I was like, oh, okay, didn't rain here. So yeah, the chances of getting rain are still not zero. I could conceivably still get rain down. There are still clouds in the sky. It's not the part of the year yet where there's not a cloud in the sky and it's just gorgeous and you can ride and you don't have to worry about nothing.
It's officially finally cool enough here in Gainesville to wear in jeans again and got a hoodie on today. Yeah, it was like in the upper 50s when I got up this morning.
Really? Wow. That's nice. That sounds delightful.
Slept with the windows open. It was very nice. Electric bill goes down to virtually nothing for the next couple of months.
Right. Yeah, my AC still on though. It's not quite no AC weather yet. Although our buddy Davey D is out of AC for at the moment. I think
Uh, you
fixing
got
it.
another month down there at least before you can do no AC
Yeah, maybe even more. Maybe even more. I remember.
at night. At night,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm not turning it on and off just to roll. Open windows at night. It's not. That's not going to happen. When it gets in, cool enough to leave them open all the time, then I'll leave them open. But yeah.
yeah. My apartment is situated perfectly where literally no one has, without a ladder, no one has access to my windows. So I'm quite comfortable sleeping at night with the windows open. I don't have to worry about anybody trying to, if I was on the ground floor, I don't know if I would do that in this neighborhood, but on the end of the building and yeah, it doesn't even extend. You can't even see in the windows in the front here because the walkway doesn't go that far.
I was thinking, because I keep randomly sending messages to people on Facebook Marketplace about, places to rent maybe or whatever. And I'm wondering if well, I'm not even that serious now because I know it's all going to come down by the end of the year. But when the time comes, I'm wondering if I shouldn't just refer all the inquiries to you, since you're the guy with the credit score, and I don't have to go the whole rigmarole of like, look, no, I don't have a credit score. I just have money. At least then you can go, yeah, okay, here's my credit score, and yeah, I got plenty of money, and make it easier.
Right. I can deal with anything we may potentially rent, and you can deal with anything we may potentially buy.
Yeah. We're not buying anything till at least after the first of the year, and probably like next summer, maybe even next beginning of season is probably when the prices are going to really probably bottom out. Like, I'm sure.
Yeah, that works good for my lease too, because that's about how long I'm here. So
Actually, yeah, that timing is just about right. Because listen, everything about this time next year, I'm guessing is going to be at least 200,000 cheaper. So anything that's like 450 now will be like 250. We able to pay cash for that, no problem. The only problem is if the money is still worth that much, then if they start switching to this digital currency crap, I don't know. Did you? I know I talked about Vietnam already. A lot of people apparently that refused to switch over got their bank accounts seized. So how does that work? I know they're not like a. What is Vietnam now? They're a communist country, as far as right. They're communist north and south, right?
I don't think that is true.
Well, they won. The communists won. They got to be communists. I know that we do a lot of business with them. That doesn't mean they're not communists. You do a
No,
lot.
you're correct. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, still a communist state. Uh,
So if it's communist, here's the thing: if it's a communist state, how do you have a bank account in the first place? In that, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I guess it's a socialist state.
well, yeah, AI is telling me it's a communist and socialist state, so limited, I guess, limited. But it is dominated by a single party, the CPV, Communist Party of Vietnam, under an authoritarian system.
Yeah, they won. The communists won the war. I don't see why they wouldn't run the government at this point. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen when they try to do that. And the other thing is, did you see the one guy?
Well, I mean, think about this. Think how much commerce and capitalism that China engages with, and yet China is also a communist country. So
Yeah,
as long as
there's
the state is in on it, they're okay with you, selling things and doing things.
that sounds a lot like that sounds very familiar. If you see, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, just levels of control. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know. Although there is again those levels and those lines really do make all the difference because well, at least here we are allowed to talk about it. Um, and while you may get socially canceled for something here or lose your job, you don't get disappeared and never seen again, and your family as well. So there's the differences do matter.
I don't know if you can claim that. I mean, if we can say whatever we want because nobody listens to us. I mean, if you're somebody that people listen to, I'm not so sure you can say anything you want. I think I think a lot of people are ducking for cover right now because of some things they've said. Not going out in public, and you know what I mean. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, the other thing I wanted to we talked about the sniper nest right over at the airport, right?
Yeah, and I saw a follow-up article on that by some iguana hunter guy that said that he's seen it there for like the last 2 years.
Yeah, and not only that, it wasn't in anybody's yard. It was in this like kind of like I don't know, like area between the highways that I assume either the airport or the government owns or something like that. So it's kind of like a no man's land of like anybody could have been in there doing that. But I was thinking about that too. I was like, listen, if you're an iguana hunter or an alligator hunter, it's probably a great stand. The canal is right there where many of those very species seem to travel quite a bit. You know,
Right.
could have been completely innocent and nefarious, not nefarious at all. Just been, some iguana hunters sitting up there, popping iguanas with a pellet gun, and the FBI just never noticed it, and until they finally, Secret Service, whatever, finally noticed it and freaked out about it.
Yeah, a lot of those guys do that from boats and just shoot them on the banks.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. But I mean, like, when I was 13, 14, 15 years old and kicking around with nothing to do, I would have done something like that, when I was that age, had a pellet gun, wandering around the woods looking for shit to shoot. I would have done that. Yeah, let's build a little stand up there, and then yeah, I don't know. And it didn't look very sophisticated at all from the pictures that I saw. It looked like it was pretty. It looked like it almost like could have been made by kids, or you know,
Right.
or some last minute hunter, like. Well, I mean, I guess that would be a hunt. Depends on what you're hunting, I guess. It would have been a good shot at those. I mean, the plane sits right there.
Yeah, but apparently it wasn't some new thing. It's been there for some time.
There was something I was going to talk about the Tyler Robinson trial. And I can't remember what it was though. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see there's any way that goes down fairly. Oh, you know what it is? They got the gag order. Well, that's right. We're violating the gag order right now, talking about Charlie Kirk case. You heard about that, right?
No, there's what do you mean? A gag order on the entire nation?
I think so. Well, I don't know if they can. It definitely in Utah for sure, but I think it's for everyone. Candace Owens has vowed to break it immediately, which I'm sure she has done already, as we are doing right now. Which is like how
So
you
you're
force something like that.
so no one's allowed to speculate or talk about.
No, and Cash went on one of the Sunday talk show things, basically making his case for why you guys should stop talking about this. You're jeopardizing the case. Like what? You are jeopardizing the case by putting out all this info that doesn't prove anything. It's just so insane that they think that they're going to somehow spin this that oh yeah, no, we're keeping all the facts secret and waiting till trial. I can't wait for this trial. I mean, this is going to be the biggest kangaroo court ever. And they had something about his lawyers, and they're a team of what just look like complete dunces to me. I mean, they just didn't look like. And there are apparently a lot of people. Oh, that's the other thing. A lot of people have volunteered to excuse me, to help defend him. And the judge is like, nope, no, nobody can help. Those are the guys. Yeah, it's kangaroo court. It's insane.
All right. So a gag order is a court order that restricts parties, lawyers, witnesses, jurors, or the media from publicly discussing certain aspects of a case. Apparently, the gag order was on 3,000 plus people associated with the Charlie Kirk murder case. So does that mean that the people that the gag order specifically listed all of these people, or did it just give a broad
Yeah, I don't know.
grouping?
What they're talking.
And what constitutes as media? Are we media?
I think we are. Candace Owens is. I mean, she's definitely media. She's a journalist. She's
Now, typically, when a judge orders a gag order, it's to prohibit the attorneys, parties involved, or the witnesses, including the jurors.
what I'm saying is that the 3,000 people are everybody that was there is now not allowed to talk about it. Like if you were there and saw somebody, saw Charlie or
right.
saw another guy take the shot over there, you can't say anything now. If you say that, you could go to jail. Is that insane or what? Let's get to the truth. Just shut up about it. I mean, it doesn't. It's such a kangaroo court ridiculous thing. I don't know, man. It's just. And then you got, politicians that stand up in Washington arguing the rule of law. Like what rule of law? Come on. It's just such a joke of a term. Rule of law. Get out of here. Yeah, it's gonna be a complete kangaroo railroad. And have you ever even I mean, I've seen a picture of Tyler Robinson's dad and maybe like a short clip of like the day that he turned him in. But have you heard anything from the parents since then?
No,
Yeah. And
no, not a peep.
from what I hear, they think he's innocent. So why aren't they going on? Well, now they can't. Now they can't say anything. But why aren't they trying to get him a better lawyer? Why aren't they, stepping up and doing stuff if they think he didn't do it? And then why did they turn him in the first place? I don't know. The whole thing is just so crazy. Well, I mean, I can understand them turning him in the first place, thinking he'll go in there, they'll clear him, and then they'll just let him go. Well, sorry, not exactly how that worked out, was it? Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is. I mean, I've been saying our legal system's been broken for literally decades. I mean, I've been through it enough on so many different levels to just look at it and go, the whole thing is a joke. I mean, there's no rule of law anywhere that really I've been able to see that I don't know. It just seems like the whole system is so corrupted into, first of all, a money-making scheme. Second of all, an intimidation scheme. Nobody's looking for justice. Nobody's looking for the truth. They're just looking to win, whether their side is right or not. There's nothing about our legal system that's about justice. It's a joke. And then you get all these people complaining about what is now referred to as our healthcare system, or in other words, insurance. It's the whole thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the only person with the balls to come out and say our healthcare system is broken. It's completely broken. There's so much.
Did you hear Tim Dillon's suggestion for a presidential party?
Remind me.
Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC, and call it the Unity Party.
Well, that'd be interesting.
And get the two of them to run together. MTG for president and AOC for VP.
I was saying that a couple of like last election about, yeah, you should take this guy from that side and that guy from that side, and you'd be unbeatable. Nobody can, neither side could fault them because they've got, yeah, that would very similar. I forget who it was last election. I think it was RFK Jr. and somebody on the other side would be like, you couldn't complain about either. Yeah, yeah, that'd be an interesting mix. Yeah.
So do you think it's a given for the next election that the Republicans are going to run Vance?
I don't know. Dude, see, here's the thing. Both parties are so broken. I mean, MAGA's split over, Gaza and all the other, promises that Trump made that he obviously has gone back on.
Gaza, Ukraine, Epstein. Yeah.
All that stuff. Argentina, he's fucking over the beef people now. And, he's just at every turn, he's proving he's not America first. So his whole party is fractioned. And of course, there's still, as a matter of fact, I get in arguments all the time with people on Facebook that are still loyal MAGA morons that just think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm like, okay, if you say so. I don't see it, but if you think he's great, whatever.
Right. I could see Vance attempting to distance himself from him towards the end of his term in an attempt to try to run as less of a MAGA Republican.
Possibly, but I mean, I don't see the thing. I
Because I
kind of
mean, he had no problem, being against him before he was chosen. He was pretty anti-Trump, and he changed his tune. It seems fickle enough to change it back.
he could actually even pivot against Trump with Trump's blessing. Go, yeah, yeah. I'll pretend you're mad. I'm mad at you, and we'll distance ourselves so you have a better chance. I mean,
Right.
he's diabolical enough to do that. But the thing is, the same thing with AOC and Vance. I just don't think anybody thinks these people are viable, serious candidates, except possibly people in their parties, which are just people who live on fantasy island now. Because same thing with the Democrats. I mean, they're kind of fractured between whatever. I don't even know who's in charge of the Democratic Party. And I guess that Hakeem Jeffries guy, and he's kind of a joke, or whatever. What is it? APAC Shakur, as they call him. Yeah,
Yeah. Who are they going to run in the next general election?
yeah. I don't know, man. I really think we're finally actually getting to a point where people are starting to. Oh, and that brings me to what do you think about this guy in New York, the Mandami? Everybody thinks he's going to win, but if that's only according to the mainstream media people, they don't even mention the Swila guy because he's not.
Right. The Silva and Cuomo, they say, are going to split the rest of the vote, and that Mondami will come through. And apparently, it's an off election, so he's hoping for a low turnout, but with energized left base.
The thing is, of the two guys between Swila and Cuomo's the guy should quit. He's horrible. He's got no chance in hell. Squila's at least got a chance. I mean, I'm not 100% behind that Squila guy, but I tell you the truth, I don't know if there's a clip I actually shared on Facebook where they're doing like a press conference type rally thing. And this homeless guy gets up there and stands in front of him and starts yelling something about, I want justice for this, that, the other thing. And just as a cop I think I've told this story before, but it's just a cop is about to come in and remove him. That Squealer guy goes, wait, hold on. And just starts talking to the guy and literally talks to the guy until the guy starts crying in Squealer's arms. He's like, hold on to him going, hey, man, it's all right, man. We're going to take care of you. We're going to take care of you. And then he asks him, he goes, hey, you want to join us in the rally now? Go stand behind me and support me. And the guy goes, yeah. And joins him. I mean, that's, to me, that's populism. I mean, you can't tell me, I could see Trump doing something like that, but I would never see any of these Democrats. I don't know. I mean, to me, here's the thing, that whole thing, it would be brilliant if it was staged,
Yeah.
which it could be. I wouldn't put that past any politician nowadays to stage something like that. But I mean, it grabbed me by the heartstrings. I was like, God damn, this guy seems to really care, unlike so many of the rest of them that obviously don't give a shit. And that's one of the arguments I have with so many of these people is they keep saying, they keep trusting the government. And it's like, look, at what point do you stop trusting these people? I mean, they've lied to you so many times about so many everything. At what point do you go, I don't trust these people anymore? Got to hold them accountable to something. I don't know. We got to get off politics. You got Halloween coming up. No matter of fact, this episode will probably drop right on Halloween or something, won't it?
Yeah, they were going to do something here at the complex I live in called Trunk or Treat, but I guess we just got an email or newsletter the other day saying they canceled it. I guess not enough people wanted to respond to it, but
You say Trump or treat?
trunk, like the trunk of your car, right? So like you just stand out there with your trunk open and people bring their little kids up and you give them candy out of the trunk or you throw the kid in the trunk and drive off. I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know the details. I thought you used a van if you were supposed to get them, but I guess you could put them in a trunk if they're small enough.
Yeah. I was gonna say that doesn't sound like such a good idea. I don't know. Yeah, the whole concept of trick or treating now with kids is like, what? I mean, there's certain neighborhoods I would still go trick or treating, but I guess you could drive there, and I'm not sure I'd go in my neighborhood.
Yeah, probably not. I certainly wouldn't go in this neighborhood. Like I said before on one of the other shows, I've been here 3 years and nobody's ever knocked on my door on Halloween. And keep my porch light on. I had candy the first 2 years. I didn't bother last year. It just doesn't. I'm not going to bother this year. So
We got the gate, so nobody
yeah,
messes.
nobody could get there. And if you were to leave anything out there, they would just first kid comes along, just take the whole damn thing. So
We're not really a kid-friendly compound anyway. Bunch
fair
of
enough.
nude gay guys and me.
And a barking dog.
Oh yeah, my attack cats. So you got to hang out with Fat Boy while you were down for a while, right?
Briefly, yeah, yeah. He
He,
was more affectionate than she was.
oh yeah, he's way friendlier than she is. Yeah, yeah. Except to her. I mean, he doesn't like her. As a matter of fact, she kicked his ass the other day coming in, and he just kind of he just kind of takes it. And I mean, I kind of get it why he goes after her every once in a while. He just kind of gets fed up and says, "Fuck you, I'm going to kick your ass a little bit," but can't have it, man. He's too big. Have
Yeah,
you
I didn't witness any violence, any cat on cat violence while I was there.
have you ever seen a bigger cat than that?
Uh, yeah,
I mean, like not like just fatter, like actively, that can walk around and do things. And
yeah.
really,
I think Bobby was bigger than him in his prime, as
no.
far as his, this, like height.
Oh well, yeah, but not the sheer girth of him. Bobby
No,
never weighed near as much as that cat weighs.
well, he got a little fatter when I took him up north.
Yeah, but he never got that big. No, that cat's just massive, dude. I mean, his paws are twice as big as cheese paws. They're huge. He's a big kitty.
My cousin Nicole used to have a Maine Coon years ago named Monk. It was a beast of a cat and ornery too, kind of mean. I
You,
respected him.
isn't that one that you had for like a little?
No, that was all right. So that's a pretty good little story. So that was a cat named Ramses. And my sister, who was working and still does work as a vet tech, was offered a chance to adopt this cat, and it was a Bengal. And if you don't know what a Bengal cat is, it's a cross between a domestic cat, domestic short-haired cat, and an Asian spotted leopard cat. So it's kind of a wild ass cat. Now, when you get one, every time they breed it, first time you do it, you get what's known as an F1 Bengal. I don't know what the F stands for, but it's like the first domesticated generation. You take that and breed it with another domesticated short-haired cat, a regular house cat, you get an F2. And you keep doing that until you get down to F5. And that's when you're supposedly have a Bengal that is like an acceptable pet to give to somebody. Because the first couple of generations, they're still too wild. They'll go after everything. So she was told, and I was told, that this was an F5 Bengal. It clearly wasn't. It was a monster that wanted to kill any animal smaller than it that it saw instantly. So she took it home, she wanted to adopt this cool exotic cat. It clearly was not going to get along. I tried to do it. Poor Mouser, Fat Boy, tried to make friends with him twice. And both times, this thing just took him to the ground like an MMA guy, like immediate with the bite on the neck. I had to break it up with water and a broom. I, After 2 days, I'm like, I can't keep this cat either. So then, oh, and a funny side story, I come home from work one day and I had to keep this one in my room. It was the only way to keep the other two cats safe. And I went in the room and I looked in the litter box, and I swear to God, for a moment, I thought a burglar had broken into my house and taken a human shit. No cat, no, cat that should shit in a litter box should be able to make a turd like this. It was insane. Uh, After I couldn't keep the cat anymore, I tried to give it to my aunt, who did not have any other cats. So we thought it'll work, but she did have two dachshunds.
Oh God.
Dachshunds.
Yeah, no,
Cat tried to kill the dachshunds.
and it will kill those dots.
Yeah, so we eventually had to give it back to the vet. We're like, no, three different people tried to adopt it. It's
Did you
I don't
not?
know whatever happened to him, but he
Did you not?
needed to live somewhere with no other animals at all of any kind.
Did you not describe this cat to me as a $9,000 cat?
No, it wasn't that expensive, but it was it was definitely an exotic cat and that's the reason why I wanted so desperately to try to make it work, because I'm never going to be able to buy one of those things, or certainly not at the time.
In
And
your world, there is no such thing as a $50 cat, let alone.
no, exactly. That was my point. Yeah, if I can get this supposedly expensive cat for nothing, which is what the deal was, if you can have him, if you can take him. I couldn't take him. He was cool to me. He was very affectionate. Um,
Yeah,
he was big,
yeah,
just
well,
big, like
X.
slightly smaller than a bobcat.
Oh yeah. That slightly crazy ex of mine had a Himalayan that she claimed was worth a couple of grand, like 3 or 4 grand. I'm like,
Right.
no,
What's
no.
funny too, I remember, and that cat is like also not exotic, but expensive, but in a completely different meaning. Like that cat, if it ever got out, would have died. Like those things are so helpless out there. They've been so domestic bred into such fluff balls of, you know what I mean? Whereas this Bengal, you could have let this thing out in the wild, and it would have been just fine.
Probably would have survived out in the wild, but they do have like a lot of problems. Like it had to go to the vet a lot, and it had to get it. Truthfully, what would happen was his hair would grow. It would probably die of all the just the hair growing, because if you don't groom those things,
Yeah.
after a while they can't see. It's all going in their mouth. I mean, yeah, you're right. If you don't groom those things, I imagine they would eventually die, or at least have a very horrible, quality of life.
Yeah. Most animals that we have domesticated would not fare well in a natural environment dealing with real regular predators and stuff, and sheep and stuff like that.
Really
um Pigs do great. Pigs go feral in like one generation or less. They go right back to being hogs, feral hogs.
true, true.
They're quite good at that. And some, the bigger dogs that are more closer to a wolf than, like obviously pugs aren't going to make it. Yorkies aren't going to do well, things like that. But German shepherds, they'd be okay for, live their life out in the wild. Labs,
How do you say that?
pardon?
You say Dotson?
Dachshund.
You say that
We
perfectly, but now say wolf.
wolf.
Woof. No, wolf.
Wolf.
Kind of like woof. But if you get a woof, that's funny. Anyway, on anything else? We got anything else to talk about? We've been about out of time.
Yeah, I don't know. Just not really. We've kind of been meandering here a lot here towards the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have much to. I thought about writing it. I think I covered just about everything I thought about writing down. I think there's probably one thing I forgot, but we'll have next Monday we'll shoot another one. That will be. Oh, as a matter of fact, on when we're shooting actually on Thanksgiving, I think we're gonna have to like do a little something. A little. It'll drop obviously later, but at least we'll know it's Thanksgiving or Halloween while we're doing it.
I was gonna say, I think you mean Halloween, but I was gonna wait, let you finish.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I keep saying Thanksgiving or Halloween. All the Christian holidays just get mixed up for me. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to ask you is like, I don't know, there's something about this time of year. where it just seems to me like there's more fuckery in the air. You know what I mean? You ever get that feeling like just this time of year? There's more like underhanded stuff going on. I don't know why. I just get that feeling.
No, I don't. Not necessarily. I don't consider that to be a seasonal feeling.
Yeah, I don't know. It must just be me then. Anyway, it ain't me doing it, but I'm just saying. Who knows? All right. Anyway, so I guess we'll see you guys next time. Give them the phone number.
Well, I'll give you guys the number. Nobody ever calls it. We're still going to keep giving it to you.
Why not?
904-549-9024.
And we just got to keep drilling in their head like the Love Doctors did. Pretty soon people will know it. And then when we start going live, which I
Right.
talked about that, I don't know what we got to really start getting this live stream somehow just to make it quasi interesting.
Doesn't even have to. Yeah, we don't even need you to leave questions. You do it hotline style and just leave us something vicious,
Yeah, good point. Good point.
short and sweet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I'll see if I definitely got a guest for a week from now if he doesn't oversleep. But I'll try to line somebody up for Monday, so see who we can get into to give us some stuff to talk about. Otherwise, people got to call in. People got to leave comments, like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. And I guess we'll see
Uh,
you next time.
the gentleman that Scott thinks will be great for the show. Apparently, Scott sent him my email, so I'm just waiting to hear from him.
Right up.
Uh,
Yeah, maybe we can
maybe
get
we
him.
can get him on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, man. We'll see you then.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Are you before you go? Are you uploading an episode today?
Let me look right now and see if they actually have got the correct intro on it, because as of yesterday, it still did not. It still had the old one.
Oh, I thought they fixed them all.
Nope, they only fixed the one that I told them that they all were like that, but they just fixed the very next one. They did not fix all of them.
Oh, well, I would send somebody an email about that.
I've already spoken to Ethan about it several times.
All right.
He's
All right.
well aware. Hang on, I'm about to tell you right now. Nope, it's still got the old intro on it. This is
Oh,
the one from October 13th. It was filmed on October 13th, and it still has the Sloth Doctor intro animation on it, which, quite frankly, none of them going forward should ever have it on there.
yeah. I was gonna say I thought they fixed them all. All right, whatever. Get on them. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.